Popular music and all its genres and all their subgenres are built on 3-note chords. People love 3-note chords. So the question is, how can you fit in while also standing out? So in other words, how can you use 3-note chords but in a more creative way?
Stay tuned for our 3-note chord hacks.
But first, Joe.
Kate and Ray Harmony here.
Welcome to the Hack Music Theory Revolution, where we empower you with notation-free theory for making great music.
Today is day 17 of our Music Theory Advent Calendar, where we're counting down the days to the release of our Christmas single and teaching you the music theory hacks we're using to write it.
Alright, so we're going to pick up where we left off yesterday. So just a quick recap before we jump in. We're in C Aeolian, aka C natural minor, and our chords are C minor, A flat major, F major, that's that non-diatonic chord which we covered in yesterday's video, F minor, and E flat major. So the most important and valuable thing I want you to take away from this lesson is that chords are not these concrete blocks of sound that are the way they are. No, chords are just 3 notes or more played together at the same time, which means you can do whatever you want with those notes. You can put them wherever you want, play around with them, have fun, and that's exactly what we're going to do now.
As you can hear, all the notes in this chord are very close together. So the first hack is to take the notes and spread them out over a wider range. This creates a sense of space in the chord. Alright, let's spread out the rest of the chords now.
Alright, now the next hack is about positioning your third note in every chord. That third note is the note that makes a minor chord sad and a major chord happy. So in C minor, the third note is that E flat, and that's our sad note. So where you put that note is going to either emphasize the emotion of the chord, or it's actually going to water it down a little bit. So when you put that third note in the middle, it's a little bit more watered down than when you have it on top, because our ears are going to be drawn up to whatever the highest note in the chord is. And actually our F major to F minor here is the perfect example of the effect that putting the 5 on the top of the chord has, because our ears are drawn up to that note as being the lead note, so we think that's the most important one, and we end up missing out on the coolest thing about the chord, which is the fact that it changes from major to minor. So as you can hear when I play this, the ear is totally drawn up to that 5, and then the 3 down here is just changing and we're not even noticing. So in order to emphasize that really cool non-diatonic note, that major note that's not supposed to be there, we need that to be on the top of the chord. So we're going to pull the 5 of that chord down. That C, we're going to pull that down an octave, which means that now our 3 and then our minor 3 is on top, so it's going to sound totally different. We're going to get that really lovely movement of a semitone, which is always cool, of the 3s on top. Check this out. And because we pulled that C down, we want to pull the C down from the previous chord, because that was our common note, so that's that common thread between those two chords.
The next hack is a way to make your chord sound more dreamy. We wanted to do this on the first chord to soften the sadness of it. You can do this by moving the 5 up to the 2. So here we move the G up to the D.
And it sounds like this. Oh, yeah. One more time. Oh. This is known as an Add9 chord, and that 9 just represents the 2 being an octave higher. Add9s are beautiful chords, but they still have 4 notes in them. That's a very thick texture. Remember, people love 3-note chords. So here's a hack. Delete the 5. The 5 doesn't add any value to the chord. It just thickens up the texture, and that's not a good thing in popular music genres. All the other notes are vital. The root note is vital because that's the note that the chord's built on. The third note is vital because that's the note that brings the emotion into the chord, so the happy in a major or the sad in a minor. And then obviously the 9 is vital because that's the one that makes it dreamy. The 5, it doesn't do anything. Get rid of it. All right, we're almost done. Let's just have a look at that last chord now. And you'll notice that we've got the 5 on top. We don't really want that on top. I'll show you why, because if you put it an octave lower, we open up this beautiful descending line of 3s, because that's the major 3 in F major, that's the minor 3 in F minor, and then that's the major 3 in E flat major. And they go down by semitone. Oh, so lovely. Have a listen to this. Oh, beautiful. But sometimes when you move a note, you create another problem. And that's exactly what happened over here. Check this out. I'm just going to mute the top note. So I'm just going to mute those 3s. Have a listen to this. Sounds really empty. That's because we've got a perfect 5th moving to another perfect 5th. So that is parallel perfect 5th, and it's boring, and we don't want anything boring in here. We've worked way too hard to just throw something boring in the end. So here's what we're going to do. Instead of going down to that 5 here, we're going to go up to a D, which is the 7th in the E flat major chord. So now we've got an E flat major 7, except there's no 5 again. Yeah, we don't need 5s. Who needs 5s? So we've got the 1 at the bottom here. We've got the 7, and then we've got the 3 on top. No 5. It still sounds exactly the same. It sounds like a major 7 chord. You don't need 5s, people. Throw them out. Pop music can have 3-note chords that are interesting. It can be done. Oh yeah. Okay, this is what it sounds like at the moment.
Just a reminder, if you want to gain a super solid music theory foundation, then you can download our Hack Music Theory Part 1 ebook, or if you're old school like me, you can get the paperback. The links are below.
Makes a lovely Christmas present.
The final hack is to turn the top voice of your chord progression into a memorable melody. The best way to do that is to create a motif, which is a short musical idea, and then reuse it throughout your chord progression. We loved the sound of the D going up to the E flat, but we thought we could make it more interesting by adding a note in between. So we added a C in between.
So this is what it sounds like?
Then we repeated this motif to really make the melody stand out from the chord progression.
So shorten all of those, and we're going to put little notes in between. And by adding the E flat up here, we now have 2 E flats, which is boring. You don't want to waste 2 of the 3 notes playing the same note. So we're just going to change the bass note down here. Go down to C, and we're done.
Stay tuned for tomorrow's video where we'll be showing you the theory hacks we used to write the bass line for this chord progression.
Alright, so here is the final playthrough.
There's only 4 days left till the big reveal of our Christmas singles, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications. Also, if you missed any of the previous videos, check out our Christmas Counterpoint playlist. We'll see you tomorrow!